Yeah, pleasant evening, all of you, and welcome to Swarrnim Talk. This is Deep Mehta. I'm associated with India's first startup university as Startup Affairs and Outreach Head. Let me start with some of the highlights on the startups. India is considered as the land of the startups. India is also considered as the third largest startup ecosystem in the world after US and China. If we talk about the startup of our countries, a few names, if we can count, then they are InMobi, Swiggy, Flipkart, Paytm, Delivery, Digital Insurance, Kulberg, Clear Dekho, Incred. Their punchline is very interesting. Borrow with a confidence. Daily Hunt, Car24, Misho, and Farm Easy. The Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, a part of the Commerce Ministry, announced the ranking of the states and union territories on the basis of measures being taken by them to promote the startup recently. According to the state startup ranking report, while Gujarat is ranked as the best performing state, while Karnataka, Rajasthan, Odisha, and Kerala come in the notch below the top performing states. A few days back, we have talked on scopes of startups in pharmacy, health science, and technology sector. Also, we have talked on how brand is a important part in any startup. On topic brand as architecture in startups, I must say there were very informative and educating sessions. This was specially for the students, budding entrepreneurs, and educational professions. We assure you will take away memorable learning and you learn essentials elements of startups and innovation conveyed by our eminent speakers. Today's topic is very interesting. It is very important, also unavoidable in the startup. If you are a budding entrepreneurs, you cannot avoid today's topic, and it is the importance of research element in developing startup. So when the seeds of an idea starts growing in a budding entrepreneur's mind, it is a natural tendency for them to discuss its credibility with their friends, peers, family, and the mentors. And most of the time, entrepreneurs jump into the startup area purely on the conclusion drawn out of this discussion and out of sheer enthusiasm to begin their business journey. When they do so, unfortunately, they end up hitting a wall soon as they discover that neither was their idea as original as they thought, or it was in demand in the market. Hence, before starting any new venture, whether you are into the chemical, pharmacy, medical, engineering, any new venture, it is extremely important to carry out the objective of market research, that also in a very professional measure. So to figure it out its originality through proper analysis or find a genuine in the market and work toward fulfilling it. Considering the above facts and important role of the research, Swarrnim Incubation Center has organized a session on role of research for developing startup. Today we have with us eminent speaker Dr. Gunjan Yadav, head of the department Mechanical Engineering, Swarrnim Institute of Technology. I would like to brief the profile of the speaker, Dr. Gunjan Yadav. Dr. Gunjan Yadav is currently associated with Swarrnim University as associate professor and head in Mechanical Engineering department. He is having more than 12 years of teaching, training, consultancy, research experience. He has his education in and training in mechanical and industrial engineering at BE and ME level. He has completed his PhD from Sardar Vallabhbhai National Institute of Technology, Surat. He has obtained MHRD sponsored funding of rupees 5 lakh to pursue international projects. He is serving as a reviewer to renowned international journals such as Journal of Cleaner Production, Production Planning and Control, Transportation Research, International Journal of Production Research, and many more. Presently, his H index is 12 and I-10 index is 12. He has contributed 40 plus papers at national and international level at various journals, seminars, and conferences. He is presently guiding 12 MTech and 2 PhD students. He has chaired sessions at international national conferences and delivered his talk in various NIT and government-funded institutions. He is presently associated with many prestigious associations, societies, which includes Institution of Engineers, Indian Institution of Industrial Engineering, Indian Society of Technical Education, Operation Research Society of India. So it is a privilege and proud moment to have with us Dr. Gunjan Yadav sir today to talk and share his notable and rich experience of the research field. And I would like to request the audience today, please ask the questions in the comment box on our FB live session. If possible, we will try to consider during the conversation, or later on, we will check with our eminent speaker and we will come back to you shortly. So first of all, Professor Gunjan Yadav sir, thank you so much for sparing your valuable time.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a nice introduction. So starting with today's topic, that is role of research for developing startups. I guess many of young entrepreneurs and the students who are trying to move themselves into the startups, they find this startup word very fascinating. I guess they just feel that yes, being a startup and like being a student, if I try to start a new venture as a startup rather than being employee at any firm, that would be a great future prospects for me. But what happens with this fascination and over enthusiasm, many times it happens that the students or the young entrepreneurs, they get failed. So what is the primary reason, if we try to talk about what is the primary reason behind the failure of such because if we talk about the students and the young entrepreneurs, there is absolutely no I would like to say that अगर हम बात करें कि उसके enthusiasm की कोई कमी नहीं रहती है, then what is the deficiency? Where do they actually lag behind? The main thing is research. They don't do the proper research before starting their venture, before going for their startups. So this plays a major role as an obstruction or hindrance for the successful completion of their startups.
Yeah, very correctly mentioned, sir. The major element of the startup, that is the research, is mainly ignored, or sometimes people are not very aware of their importance, and so that their enthusiasm in very short time, they ended up with the frustrations. So we try our level best that this FB live session will reaches to the maximum budding entrepreneurs of the nation, and they find it very informative and useful during their various steps of the startup. So, sir, my first question is for the today's session is, sir, can you please
with research part, see, let us first we need to understand exactly what do you understand by research. Research is basically researching the idea that you have developed within yourself, and you are trying to put that in the form of a product or service into the market. But before doing that, and even searching the idea, you should actually realize basically what is the need of the market, right? Because if you are trying to launch any of the service or the product which is already available at its peak point, then I don't think that there is any need of launching that idea. Maybe you may be innovative, or maybe purely customized in that particular product, but if it has a great hold in the market already, then I don't think that such idea or such product will work. So it is always essential that you understand what is the marketplace of the idea or the product or the service that you want to launch. So in that case, there are very important elements if we talk about research and try to correlate that with the startups. There is a strong linkage between the research and the data, because see, it's very important. If I am a budding entrepreneur and I want to develop my startup, I need to have a strong market analysis. I need to do a deep, large scale survey before initiating my analysis part, before going to my production stage. So the planning for that particular data that need to be collected from the market, it is very important. Then comes how you are analyzing that particular data. So these are some collective strategies that actually helps you to convert your research into some fruitful outputs, for which your aim is to develop a successful startup or business. Okay, so let us first understand what is data. See, you might be aware that nowadays the role of data play a very important role. As you could see, when you start typing on Google, it start giving you suggestions before you actually type. For example, if I write how to write, so it will give me a few suggestions how to write in MS Word, how to write a research paper, how to write a magazine article. So how this Google is giving you different kind of suggestions on that part. See, this is all what is we talk about the data. Moving forward, you all might have observed that when you get a call from an unknown number, many times you get to know the name of that person who is calling to you. Maybe you might not have saved his or her number in your mobile phone, but still, like you might be aware of the application Truecaller. So what basically Truecaller is doing? The Truecaller application is collecting the data from different devices, and based on data, it is performing that research to give you the fruitful output. Same thing you might have observed that when you try to surf on your social media platforms, like I'll share one of my recent example. I was searching to find out the best mobile phone for my younger brother. And I just searched some of the models on Google, and later I opened my social media platform. What happened to my social media platform, that is Facebook and Instagram? I got to see the ad of different mobile phones that I have already searched on Google. So how everything such kind of things are happening. Like the data that you are doing, the activity that you are doing, that data is now converted into a research form, and based on that research, you are getting the fruitful outputs. Same goes when you go for online shopping websites. You could see that you haven't searched for any specific product which you actually like, but in suggestion box you will see, okay, if I was trying to buy a mobile phone, it is showing me a suggestion of the mobile cover or headphone that is associated with that mobile phone. So that is what we could say the search engine optimization or the intelligent optimization technology. It is working to make your life more simpler, and basically it is trying to fulfill the purpose or the objective what basically a consumer is trying to do or what he is trying to have along. Then moving forward, what is the role of data in research? So data has three different roles to play upon. First is its collection part, second its is analysis part, and the third one is its execution part. Now moving forward to collection. So how do you collect the data? The data can be collected through different surveys, through market search, through assessing the available patents. So there are different modes and mediums through which you can collect the data, on the basis of which you can conduct and research and convert that into an executable business startup or a successful business startup. Then once you have obtained the data from various primary and secondary sources, how you are going to analyze those data? So for that purpose, you have different ERP softwares available in the market. Different decision-making tools are there. You might have seen that even you might not be aware that what happens if you ever get to have a search on the YouTube, you search with a particular keyword and you get a related content on your search page. How does that happen? That actually works on the search engine optimization. So there are different companies who are providing the paid services or to get you those keywords. Being if you are a content developer on YouTube, it's very important for you to place the most accurate and right keywords so that the person who is actually looking for the content which you are trying to provide, it reaches to you. Same goes with the business. Suppose if I am a budding entrepreneur and I have my startup and I have some related products or services which I would like to provide to the consumers, but my business or the startup will not be a successful one until and unless my product or my services reach to the end user successfully, effectively within less duration of time. Now, what are the different data analytical tools available in the market? You could see that Google Analytics is there, Casemetrics is there, Crazy Egg is there, Chartio is there, Appsy, Hotjar, Mixpanel. These all are the different data analytics tools which are being used by the young budding entrepreneurs to make their startups or business in executable part, and they tend to have the desired performance which they want to generate out of their business. Now, what basically these tools help you to obtain? Let us try to understand the utility of these data analytic tools. Right. So first of all, these data analytic tools helps you to understand that how much number of users, their characteristics, and where actually these users are coming from. So it gives you an exact idea about the consumer who is willing to or who wish to take the product which you are offering or the service which you are offering to them. Then you can measure what actions or the what are the views of that user or the consumer on your product. That can be through either your app or maybe through the websites. Then you can even get the customize your product specific reports through these data analytical tools. You can get a segment behavior, like how your product is moving over a period of time. And then again it happens that how exactly your product is reaching to the customer. Because see, if I am a budding entrepreneur and I want my product or my services to reach to the end user, I will follow a particular channel for promotion. Maybe that can be through newspaper promotion, through ads, through banners, through Facebook, through any social media platform, or through newspapers, through radio services. So with the help of these data analytical tools, I got to realize, okay, yes, this is my final end user that I have obtained, but how these end users are being obtained, whether these are obtained through the newspaper media, these are obtained through the radio media. So these tools actually help you not only to analyze your product efficiency, but to how to improve the performance of your product as well as maintaining the minimum cost.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Gunjan Yadav sir, for sharing the in-depth knowledge and very valuable examples, very recent example, as you mentioned that you were searching some mobile phones options, and when you go to your social media, the options are available. The ads are coming to your social media. So this is we can say we are living in the data world. Everything is based on the data research, how Google, how the social media are collecting your data, what you are research, what you are doing the research, what you are searching, which are your preferences, everything is noted, right? So there is nothing wrong to say we are living in the world of the data, right? So sir, we also would like to know from your end, if you mentioned that basic tools of applying for the research and the utility of the tools. My next question is that can you share some of the best examples of the companies which got failed because of the without proper survey and collected feedback from the market? See what happened, we always the youngsters always would like to know the goody talks or the kind of the success stories. Here I am emphasizing specifically the failure stories because of the proper survey and the feedbacks have not been collected from the market. Over to you, Gunjan sir. Wait.
Yes, I guess, sir, you highlighted the right point, because see, everybody like to hear the good stories or the success stories of the budding entrepreneurs and the startups that they have achieved so much of revenues in just a time span of 6 months, 1 year. But behind the stage story is something different. I mean, it's very thoughtful to say that based on the IBM Institute for Business Value and Oxford Economics, 90% of Indian startups actually fail in first 5 years. So this is a very what I could say noticeable fact that and that need to care upon how exactly why these startups are being failed. So like majority of the crux that comes out is there is lack of exact needed innovation and research. So you would be surprised to see that I have one data of previous years for the patent filed from different countries. I'm talking about the international patents, and you'd see that China was leading there with some figure around 59,000. And if you could see, India could not land up anywhere there in top 10. Even not in top 10, I could say, to be very precise, the figure was 1800. And that is like alarming point. If you are willing to look upon the budding entrepreneur and moving towards startup. If you don't have the patents, it actually says that you don't have the innovation, you don't have anything new, you don't have anything creative. For that purpose, it is very important that you work in the direction of patents so that innovation comes within. Then moving forward towards the list of Forbes top 25 innovative companies. This is again a shocking context where you could see among these 25 top innovative companies, there was only one single company, Asian Paints, who could place in the list of Forbes top 25 innovative companies. So this is very alarming, as I could say that India is nowhere behind or nowhere back with other countries. If you talk about the terms of talent, ideas, like their hardworking, their passion, their persistency, then what actually lags behind? That we need to understand. It's very important. Like I have one more figure there with you, looking for to the top 10 cities based on the startup business, right? Starting from Silicon Valley, New York, Los Angeles, Boston, till Singapore. Again, you will find that there is no Indian city in the top 10 cities of startup business. This is really an alarming figure. So,
Okay. So, yes, sir. The figures and the facts which you have shown are really shocking. But we also here, I would also like to appreciate the efforts made by the central government to boost the startup culture, because we are having the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. So the days are gone where probably there was no innovations, or budding entrepreneurs have to face a lot of difficulties for the funding and the legal support. Now the incubation centers have been set up where all the facilities, legal, funding, outreaching, branding, patent, POC, all the business model facilities are available at there. But yes, of course, we should not forget the status also, present status, and the data also released by the competent authorities, and we should work more harder to be ahead in the competitive world. So sir, my next question to you is, can you please share important points to the budding entrepreneurs which they have to consider at the initial stage of their startup? So here I mean to say is the foolproof system, the points which we can just consider to follow blindly, so that there are less number of chances for the failures. Can you please share, sir, through your rich experience?
Yes, sir. Very rightly said that even I guess our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, he has also worked a lot on Startup India part. Recently, we have local to vocal campaign. So many of such initiatives are already being taken by Government of India. But yes, being the government part, they have done their role. Now it is our responsibility that we convert those responsibilities given to us, and we convert them into reality. Like many of like institutions, they have been given the SSIP fund for developing startups. So I could see like various students, they have been working day and night and getting their idea converted into patent, and later converting that patent into actual working startups. So there is like good initiative by the government, but what I personally feel that similar effort should be done from our end, because it is our mutual responsibility to take our nation to the next level. So I have that particular set of essential steps that are needed for startups. But before that, I'll just share some small examples of the startups which were got failed in despite of getting huge fundings. See, like we have PepperTap. I guess you might be aware, it was founded by Milind Sharma and Navneet Singh in 2014. Initially, they started with the concept of zero inventory, and they worked on grocery delivery. You would be surprised to see that they generated a fund of $51 million. Funding agency was Secure Capital, SAF Partners, and Snapdeal. Even though despite of getting such a huge funding, they got failed. What was the reason? I'll come down to that in a short span of time. There was one more Indian startup, Guruji.com. You might be aware of. Guruji.com was founded by Mr. Anurag Dod and Gaurav Mishra. Both were IIT graduates, and they founded up this startup in 2006. And they were able to manage the fundraising of $15 million. But that startup got failed in 2012. Same was the case with Nivio. I guess you all might be aware, that was a startup by Sachin Duggal and Saurabh Doot. They offered a personal virtual desktop to their consumers, and they raised the fund of $21 million. Which was being backed by the funding agencies, that is Bharti Airtel, Videocon, and AEC Partners. It got shut down in 2013. There were many such issues, like Overcart was there. Overcart got shut down within the time span of less than 5 years. So these are some of the startup failures examples. We'll try to understand with a particular model how exactly we can have a more efficient and successful startup. Now coming on to your part, before that you could see here we have one more data with us. Over the last 1 decade, you could see that these are the 10 most funded startups that don't have any of the shortage of fund. Still, due to some primary and preliminary mistakes, these startups got failed. These were some of the major reasons of getting those startups failed. That is lack of innovation and unique business model. Many of these startups, they were launched, or they were being executed with just a short-term goal, short-term span, and they were not having any kind of unique business model within. You could see that example which I have already given for that Guruji.com and that PepperTap. PepperTap, they had got a funding of $51 million. So raising that fund is really amazing, but they couldn't put it forward because the business model that they followed was somehow similar to the existing models. Then comes the lack of right skills, lack of funding, support, and poor business ethics. Like recently I shared the example of Guruji.com. On the Guruji.com website, that was again a kind of innovative and unique business model concept, and that was the first search engine of India, but that got failed due to some plagiarism and ethics issues. They have shared some of the copyright music content on their search media through their paid paid website. So the founder and the owner of Guruji.com, he was got into some illegal, poor business ethics issues. So these all are some of the basic reasons of the startup failures. Now, what should be the exact model, or we could say the exact pathway to get your startup or business into a performance venture? These are the 10 most essential successful startup steps I have identified. that if you go through these 10 steps, I personally believe that you will never fail in any of the business you are working on, being an entrepreneur or you are running a funded business. First, if we talk about is missing innovation around customers' money making model. This is very, very important part. What basically the consumer's point of view, if we talk about being the entrepreneur side, we always look upon for the profit of the company or the enterprise or the business which we are running on a short time span. But we need to look upon from the customer's money making model point of view. Then you have negative cash flow and negative working capital. What does that mean? Maybe possible that your business is running very well. Let's take one example of one business that got failed. We have mentioned earlier that company was having good working capitals on the balance sheet, but due to negative cash flow, that they have given their products on credit without getting the cash flow into margin. So that went on to the negative cash flow. So that actually got to have a different direction model, being they're having a smooth business, still their entire business got shut down. Then we have expansion of negative margin. How you can see this expansion of negative margin is not about with the cash flow, like how negative margin what you are keeping between your selling price and the cost price, how you are expanding that negative margin, that is getting your profit onto the positive side. Then lack of talented manpower. See, if whether you are looking for a startup, you are looking for an entrepreneur, or any business you look upon, there is no business such like Gangu Halwai, who is himself is making that gulab jamuns and all, and he himself is selling to the consumers. The people are coming to his shop and taking the way things along, and his business is running on and on. No, it is not at all possible in today's market and business scenario. You need to have the talented manpower and a good team to execute your business aims or the goals which you have planned yourself to reach within. Then scalability with recurring revenue model. What happens is when you are working on some new product development process, never go in that way that yes, I have gained something from this consumer, now I have to rush on to the other consumer. No, this is the wrong strategy. If you want to be a successful startup or a successful entrepreneur, then you need to follow the recurring revenue model. That means the consumer or the customer who has got once associated with you, you need to make sure that I need to fulfill his or her expectations at par without fail. Once that part is being done, he will start giving you the recurring revenue model. You get my point? So in this case, the scalability and recurring plays a very important part. Then mixed marketing signal and wrong position. This has happens to be a very common mistakes by budding entrepreneur, because what they basically feels that, okay, yes, I have manufactured this product. Now I will post in this market, I'll post in this market, I'll post in this market. And what basically happens that the product gets failed and the sales which you are expecting out of that product doesn't comes into reality. So what does that mean? That means that the product or the services that you are offering to your consumer, you first need to identify what specific market segment you are looking and you are targeting. You don't need to sell your product to each and every consumer out there in the market. No, because you have got an innovative idea, you have got a novel thought, but that is not in need for everyone out there in the market. So the product is again customer specific. Now releasing the product as laggard. See, laggard is something like if I could say that there is already saturation in any of the market, and now with a good innovative strategy and a customized specification of the product, I am launching that product into the market. Do you feel that there is need of your product in the market? No. Why? Because there is already saturation available out there. So it doesn't matter how innovative your product is, what pricing you are quoting for your product, how value for money is your product, because there are already existing products available who have established their own brand. They are now well set players of that particular market segment. So it is not a wise decision if you are starting being an entrepreneur, enter into the market which is already at its saturation part. Now then save yourselves from outcome competent. This is very important part. I'll just share with you. Suppose if you are developing, you have something innovative idea, and you are developing a product which is extremely unique of its kind, which is nowhere available in the market. So try to keep that backup point or that secret strategy with you always. Make sure, because your competence, like you yourself feel that yes, I need to jump into this market and I'll go for my startup. So same is with others who are available there in the market. They are also looking for such kind of market areas. Okay, yes, in this market area no such product is available, so yes, I can jump into this market segment and I can get in cash my product. So you need to keep that secrecy or privacy on the very primary note, that the product which you are launching as an innovative part, that secrecy should be maintained. Then missing the process of converting feedback into the feed forward. This is very important. Like earlier we talked about recurring revenue model. So if you have that tendency of converting your feedback into feed forward mechanism, that means if your product has some kind of errors, and if you are experiencing that yes, the customer is coming to you with complaints, so welcome such customers, because the customer who is coming to you with complaint, he or she has faith in you. He or she believes, yes, you can change or customize this product based on his or her need. Once you do that, then you put forward a positive image into the mind of that consumer, and that customer will never go towards another brand. But and these are your true well-wishers. But the customers who are silent, they are actually silent killers. When they'll go and switch to other brand, you never know. So you will lost your recurring income. So every time stick to the model of getting your feedback into feed forward mechanism. Next part you have is business model for building complete ecosystem. What does this ecosystem means? Let's understand with the help of an example. See, ecosystem is something like, if I am doing something for the other person, that other person is doing something for me, and mutually we all together are working to make this environment built into a form of ecosystem. So in ecosystem, if we talk about the part of business, we have financial, we have the part of consumers, employees, shareholders, government, pressure groups, suppliers, everybody out there, we collectively work together to provide that single product to the end user. So that is a complete ecosystem. Let us understand in a more simpler manner. Facebook is again a ecosystem where we all together comes out and have a discussion, connect together. Maybe many times it happens you get to have a connection with one of your old friend who you have not met since last 15 years. Then you get a connectivity, then you through that friend you get connected to your other school friends. So that is a kind of ecosystem that we used to have, we should have in our business model. Like if we talk about the part of YouTube is again a very good ecosystem. The content developer or the content channel creators, they are creating the contents and providing that free of cost to all the consumers. Like suppose I'll take an example. If I have something issues, like I'm writing on MS Word and I forget, okay, from where I should write the insert the page number at the bottom in the footer. So what I'll do, I'll just put it on Google. I'll search out for a small YouTube video of 1 minute. Okay, yes, go to this menu, go to footer, select the page number. My problem is solved. So such an ecosystem is all are working together to develop and build a ecosystem so that the purpose of all which for which we are joined together gets solved. Same goes with the case of Paytm and Amazon. There is one more brilliant example I would like to share. Android is a platform that was being developed by Google. Now, Android has given a blank platform to all these app developers. So day by day, you will see that many of the app developers are developing new and innovative content based on their ideas, their different feedbacks, the needs of the consumer. They are trying to develop different kinds of apps. So what does this basically it's doing? It is actually linking different mobile makers to ensure that the mobiles that they are going to manufacture, they works on the Android platform. So by doing this, what is happening at our end, we are the Google is connecting all of them together to build an ecosystem onto it. So this ecosystem, like we all in this case are working together and everybody is there into the progress mode. Yes, sir. Next.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Gunjan sir, for very detailed and practical examples. You made the answer so easy, but though very effective to the audience. I would like to ask you, sir, next question. How you see post-COVID time for technology's transformation, specifically in research? See, we have seen the lockdown since almost more than 10 months. We are facing the unwanted, the COVID-19 situation now all over the world. So we cannot certainly avoid this situation, but we also have to see the future. We also have to be ready for the next year, for the upcoming time. So we would like to have your guidance, sir, for technology transformation in research for the post-COVID situation.
Okay. See, COVID has been a very tough time for everybody out here. I guess many of the big giants in business and well established and set up industries have faced such tough time. It was very first time in their life. Even I used to have a word with my grandparents, and they used to tell me, okay, this is something like we they even have seen for the very first time in their life. So this I have even some data with me regarding this COVID impact. Like you could see here, there are different mode of impact when we talk about COVID-19, specifically on the existing manufacturers as well as the budding entrepreneurs. You could see that most affected was the selling part, sales part. You might be aware that Maruti Suzuki, they couldn't even sell a single car in the month of April. So it was something like that happened for the very first time in their entire history, that this such kind of thing happened. So sales have drastically gone down during this COVID time. Same goes part with the production, supply chain, HR, finance, and IT. I guess if we talk about the current situation, all the businesses that were associated with the Internet of Things, or maybe they have something linked to their online strategies, they were somehow the very less affected market during this COVID times. Even you could see that the IT sector, it was the only sector which was least affected with this COVID part. Rest, all the sectors have seen that worst kind of scenario. It was like a very tough time for all such industries. Now, let us see that what startup areas post-COVID would be most effective for if you are a budding entrepreneur, or if you are looking for your startup. What would be the best possible startup areas after COVID? Like education technology is nowadays what we could say it is now the future of learning. Like it was initially our हम लोग कह सकते हैं कि हम लोगों की मजबूरी थी कि ऑफलाइन से हमें ऑनलाइन पे शिफ्ट होना पड़ा, but now the learning scenario, it has got shifted from offline towards online platform. Many of us have started taking the online courses to learn new thing, upgrade our knowledge. For that purpose, we have different online education platform, like you could see that Byju's there. Then you have Coursera, you have Udemy. Many of such platforms have boosted exponentially during this COVID time. The classes which earlier used to be in the form of coaching centers and all, they have turned to the online tutoring and web courses. Same if we move forward, the health and wellness, like nutrition management, wealth management, fitness handling, preventive personalized medicine, all these health and wellness related business and startups, these are going to have a very good time in coming future, because people are nowadays moreover getting aware towards their health, towards their fitness, towards their immunes. So this is what in coming scenario is going to have a very good business. Moving forward, we have financial services, like we have NBFCs. So because not only with the industries and the private bodies, governments are also suffering very badly through in terms of finance. So it would be very difficult for the SMEs and all to take that loans and financial related budgets issues onto the market. So these NBFCs are going to play a very vital role. Same, we have SaaS, software as a service, and remote tools, which are going to play a very vital role in coming future. I guess many of the companies, they have started shifting towards that remote tools and SaaS. So this is going to be a future if once this COVID gets off completely. Then the e-commerce and delivery based services, because the people don't want to travel to receive their product. They want quick delivery at their place itself. So this is going to be in a boom manner, whether it's related to their online foods, related to any of the grocery. This is going to play a very vital role. You have delivery, you have e-cart, very such delivery based services are available, which are on their boom on the present day. Same the case with OTT platform and online gaming. You could see that since March, I guess, March, the multiplexes and cinema theaters, they are off. And you could see for like since March, April, May, 2 to 3 months, there were no TV serials available. So OTT platforms got a very huge response. Pharmaceuticals, life sciences, and lab pathology. So these are also going to have in the like, because nowadays people are getting more and more away towards the medical and healthcare. So dependability on the immune boosters, availability of substitutes, and strong boost could be seen in the pharmaceutical industries. Then yes, this is a very important concept, I could say, that is managed office spaces. Nowadays, the after this COVID time, many of the offices have already gone shut down. So people who have that space available in their premises, they are putting as a managed office spaces and giving rent, giving it on to the rent to different official partners and the consumers for a day, for hours, or something like that. So in that case, both ways, like the person who is running the managed office spaces and the owner of the business who has shut down his own premises, they can manage in a very low cost. So it is a win-win situation for all of them. And apart from this, many other such businesses are available in post-COVID times related to agriculture, which are going to have a really boosting time in coming future.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Gunjan Yadav, sir, for briefing the areas where the possibilities are there, the transformation, the upcoming startups areas, the research facilities, and the areas where budding entrepreneurs have to take care for the future. Now, looking towards going towards the end of the session, I would like to ask one very simple questions to Dr. Gunjan Yadav, sir. Sir, can you share some of the pivotal tips, very important tips, which the budding entrepreneur should take care during this VUCA time ongoing, because lots of uncertainty and the ambiguities are ongoing at the present time. Anything is happening any point of the time. So which are the basic tips which they have to follow for sustainability and steady growth for their own startups, sir? Sir, over to you.
Okay, like I've already mentioned, some of the essential steps that need to be followed by the budding entrepreneurs. Still, I would suggest you all that if you are trying to enter into a new market, or you are going to start your new business, then I would really recommend you all to have a detailed research and the data analysis of the product or the services that you want to offer. Always have a plan B, your backup plan, to recover the losses and the like the revenues if it happens to have, because the market scenario currently, it is purely unpredictable. You cannot predict that, okay, after 15 days what is going to happen, because as what we have seen, we had some 2 to 3 days lockdown in Ahmedabad, I guess, Deep sir. Yeah, so you never know like how the situation is going to work, because it's not in our hands. So better to be on a safety measure. We take the precautions on our side. We do a proper research and analysis based on the data, facts, and figures. Use the proper analysis tools and try to expedite the survey part before you actually get into the business and put your money within. Try to take a detailed large scale survey before initiating, and I guess such precautions not only helps you to start generating good revenues in the beginning, but from the long term perspective, if you follow these tips and the emerging areas which we have discussed post COVID, I guess you'll definitely succeed as a budding entrepreneur.
Okay, so first of all, I found a tremendous scopes in startups, innovation, and research area, even at the present time and the post-COVID time. But definitely, the looking toward the importance of the research and the other elements like finance, legal, patent, branding, outreaching, co-working space, then the POC developments. We all have to consider and understand the importance of each area. The budding entrepreneurs I am briefing to you. We Swarrnim Incubation Center welcome all of you for any support, any guidance you required regarding all the elements of the startup. Hereby, Dr. Gunjan Yadav sir, we would like to convey our sincere gratitude to you for sparing your valuable time and sharing your key knowledge, your rich knowledge to our audience. Before we winding up the session, I would like to mention here some of the key data which I came across, interesting facts on the startup which I would like to share with you. The reference is the Silicon Indian Startup City by Aparna Roy. The facts are, it is said that startups which have 2 or more founders have more success. It is said that many people come up with the idea of the startup due to lack of the employment or while they are working in some other organizations. Point number 3, according to the author of the Founders Dilemma, about 80% of the startup founders do not care much about splitting their equity. There is nothing called the right time of starting a business. The right time is to find the idea you are passionate about. 95% of the entrepreneurs creating successful startup at least hold a bachelor degree, but at the same time, many of are just college dropout. The industries which witness the most number of startups are the finance industry, insurance, and real estate. Unlike before, startup can raise funding from a lot of sources like angel funding and crowdfunding also. Startups are said to provide 3 million jobs in their first year. So before we winding up the session, let me brief you all. We are associating with CIMSME and Startup India for the Global Startup and Innovation Summit, which is scheduled on January 28, 29, and 30, 2021. You are cordially invited to join such a power-packed sessions where more than 30 plus countries speakers are going to come and share their knowledge on the same. More than 700 plus incubators are going to join the session across the globe. We have also participated as academic partner with virtual brand festival. Stay tuned with more information and get connected with India's first startup university, that is Swarrnim Startup and Innovation University's official Facebook page. Thank you so much.